The night sky over Earth was calm, but beneath the silence, a storm was building. Satellites circled the planet, their sensors constantly scanning the cosmos. On the edge of the solar system, a fleet of alien ships moved in formation. Their shapes were unfamiliar, sleek and menacing, glowing with energy that humans had never seen before. The Galactic Council had been watching Earth for decades, considering it insignificant. But now, something had changed. On Earth, in a high-tech command center deep underground, alarms rang sharply. Scientists and military officers rushed to their stations, eyes wide with disbelief. The giant screens displayed a massive object approaching from the Kuiper Belt, a fleet of ships faster and larger than any human vessel. Lieutenant Mara Singh, a young officer known for her calm under pressure, stared at the screen. "This isn't a drill," she said quietly, her voice trembling slightly. "They're real and they're coming for us." The Council had underestimated Earth, thinking humans were still a primitive species. But this fleet meant one thing. They had decided to strike. Governments across the globe had received encrypted alerts, but most civilians were still unaware. Only the world's leaders and top scientists knew the truth. Panic was spreading, but so was determination. Humanity had faced countless challenges before, but nothing like this. Dr. Elias Moreno, a veteran astrophysicist, stepped forward. "We need to send a warning," he said. His hands moved rapidly over the holographic interface, analyzing the incoming fleet. "If we contact the Galactic Council, maybe, just maybe, we can prevent this." But deep down, he knew it was unlikely. The Council rarely intervened for smaller planets, and Earth had always been on its own. Meanwhile, in the skies above the Atlantic Ocean, the first alien scouts appeared. They glided silently, their metallic surfaces reflecting the moonlight. Drones and fighter jets scrambled to intercept them, but human weapons barely scratched their hulls. Lieutenant Singh watched with clenched fists. "We are not ready for this," she muttered, almost to herself. Yet she refused to show fear. The human spirit had never yielded, and it would not yield now. The first communication attempt to the Galactic Council failed. Static filled the transmission, and then a voice, cold and robotic, echoed back. "Your signals are irrelevant. Prepare for judgment." The word sent chills down everyone's spines. The Council was not going to help. Humanity was truly alone. As the alien fleet drew closer, Earth's leaders convened an emergency meeting at the United Nations headquarters. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals crowded into a secure chamber, their faces pale. The room was tense. The sound of distant alarms from military bases added to fear. General Thomas Beckett, a decorated strategist, stood and addressed the room. "We have two options," he said firmly. "We can try diplomacy, which is already failing, or we can prepare for the fight of our lives." Dr. Moreno raised his hand. "There might be another way," he suggested. "We have been working on a prototype weapon, something beyond conventional technology. It's risky, but it could give us a fighting chance." Murmurs filled the room. Humans had always been experimental, but this was not a time for experiments. It was a time for survival. Still, desperation often led to brilliance. Across the world, civilians began to notice strange patterns in the sky. Satellites, drones, and alien ships formed eerie shapes, glowing like stars gone wrong. The media struggled to report, but social networks exploded with speculation. Some thought it was a natural phenomenon, while others feared the worst. In homes, offices, and streets, people paused, looking upwards, sensing a change. Something monumental was coming, something that would alter the course of history forever. Back at the command center, Lieutenant Singh and her team worked tirelessly. "We need a plan," she said, pointing at the screen. "We cannot wait for the Council or for anyone else. We have to act now." Scientists shared designs, engineers proposed modifications to defense systems, and soldiers prepared for combat. Every second counted. The aliens were closer now, and their presence was undeniable. The first shots were fired near the Indian Ocean. Human missiles soared into the sky, tracing fiery arcs against the night. The alien scouts dodged effortlessly, and in moments, the missiles were disintegrated by energy shields the humans could not penetrate. Singh clenched her teeth. "We underestimated them," she admitted. But even in the face of failure, there was no surrender. Humans adapted, and they learned fast. Dr. Moreno proposed a bold idea. "We need to think like they do," he said. "Their technology relies on energy patterns we can predict if we analyze their formations. If we can anticipate their moves, we might turn their strength against them." The generals exchanged uneasy glances. It was dangerous, perhaps suicidal, but it was the only hope. Humanity had survived ice ages, wars, and disasters. Now it had to survive the cosmos. Meanwhile, on one of the Council's observation decks, alien delegates watched Earth with mild curiosity at first. But as they observed the human response, their expressions changed. Something in human behavior was unexpected. They were unpredictable, fearless, and resourceful. "This species, they are more dangerous than we imagined," one delegate whispered. The others nodded silently, their confidence shaken for the first time in centuries. On Earth, the first successful countermeasure was tested. A modified drone, designed to mimic alien technology, disrupted the shields of a scout ship. It spiraled out of control and crashed into the ocean. Cheers erupted in the command center, brief but powerful. Humanity had struck the first blow. It was small, but it mattered. It was proof that Earth would not simply surrender. As the night progressed, Lieutenant Singh received a coded message from a mysterious source within the Council. The message was clear. Do not underestimate your own power. Use everything you have. Your survival depends on it. No one knew who had sent it, but it ignited hope. Humanity was alone, yes, but it was not helpless. The alien fleet had stopped above the Pacific. They hovered silently, as if assessing the situation. Humanity had made the first move, and now the Council itself was watching. For the first time, Earth was no longer just a primitive planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. Lieutenant Singh looked around the room, seeing exhaustion, fear, but also determination. "Tomorrow we fight," she said. Her voice carried through the command center, not just to survive, but to show that we belong in this universe. Scientists, soldiers, and leaders nodded, understanding the gravity of what lay ahead. They had only begun to fight. And so, as the stars twinkled coldly above, a desperate call echoed across Earth. It was a call not for help, but for action. Humanity had been underestimated. Humanity had been mocked. But now, humanity was ready to respond. And when it did, the universe would take notice. The morning after the desperate night, Earth's skies were tense but calm, almost deceptively so. Across the globe, military installations hummed with activity. Soldiers, engineers, and scientists moved like a well-oiled machine, prepared for the unthinkable. Lieutenant Mara Singh walked along the command center corridor, her boots echoing on the polished floor. Her eyes scanned the massive screens ahead, which displayed the alien fleet still hovering ominously above the Pacific. "This is it," she muttered under her breath. "Time to show them what humans can do." For weeks, Earth had secretly worked on experimental weapons and unconventional technology, but until now, it had only been theory. Now, every design, every calculation, every risk would be put to the test. Dr. Elias Moreno stood beside a glowing console, adjusting the coordinates of a fleet of stealth drones. "We can disrupt their shields," he explained. "If we strike at the right angle, we can disable the main energy source without alerting the entire fleet." The Council scouts had underestimated human intelligence and ingenuity. They assumed humans would panic, plead, or surrender, but humanity's response was anything but predictable. As the first stealth drones launched from hidden bases across the Pacific, the alien fleet sensors immediately detected them, but not fast enough. The drones moved silently, faster than the human eye could follow, weaving through the energy beams that crackled from the alien ships. With precision strikes, they targeted the alien shield generators. One by one, small flashes of sparks lit up the darkness above the ocean. Then, with a sudden burst, one of the larger ships spiraled out of control, its energy core detonating in a shock wave that illuminated the night sky. In the command center, cheers erupted. But Lieutenant Singh raised a hand to silence the room. "Not yet," she warned. "This is only the beginning." Meanwhile, the alien delegates in the distant council chambers were stunned. No planet had ever fought back like this. No species had ever used creativity against them with such speed and precision. These humans, one whispered, his voice trembling. They are unpredictable, dangerous. Back on Earth, the retaliation was gaining momentum. Dr. Moreno and his team had prepared a second, more audacious tactic. Using modified satellites, they intercepted the aliens' communications and began feeding false signals. The alien ships responded to the fake threats, redirecting their firepower, leaving themselves vulnerable. Lieutenant Singh watched the unfolding chaos through her binoculars. "It's working," she breathed. "They're falling for it." The first wave of human fighter jets streaked across the sky, launching missiles that the aliens could not anticipate. The explosions rocked the orbiting fleet, sending debris tumbling into space. For the first time, the invaders were on the defensive. Humanity had turned the tables in hours that the Council had thought would be humanity's last. Yet, the humans did not underestimate the risk. Every victory came with cost. Every maneuver carried danger. One of the stealth drones was lost, engulfed in an alien energy beam. Lieutenant Singh clenched her fists. "We cannot fail now," she said, her voice steady. "We will make every loss count." The Council, still observing silently, debated. Some delegates argued for intervention. Others warned the humans were already beyond control. A vote passed in silence, an unprecedented vote. "Let them fight," a senior delegate murmured. "They might surprise even us." On Earth, the battle had a rhythm of its own. It was not just a fight of weapons, but of minds. Humans anticipated, adapted, and exploited every weakness. Drones and fighter jets moved like chess pieces, always one step ahead. The aliens were strong, yes, but their predictability became their greatest vulnerability. Suddenly, a massive alien ship broke formation and charged directly toward the eastern coast of North America. Panic spread among the population, but Lieutenant Singh remained calm. "Targeting systems online," she said. "All units, focus fire." Missiles launched, lasers struck, and drones swarmed the massive vessel. The alien ship, despite its size and power, faltered under the unexpected precision of human tactics. With a final, blinding explosion, it was destroyed. Silence fell for a brief moment, as humans and aliens alike processed what had just occurred. But the humans did not celebrate. Dr. Moreno activated the next stage of their plan, an electromagnetic pulse designed to temporarily disable the aliens' communication and navigation systems. The pulse spread like ripples through space, and instantly, several alien ships stopped moving, frozen midair. The Council watched, their collective shock growing. Never had a primitive planet orchestrated such a complex attack. Lieutenant Singh issued new orders. "Prepare for boarding," she said. Small, fast ships launched toward disabled alien vessels, carrying specialized human crews trained for infiltration. The crews moved with silent efficiency, gathering alien technology and data that would further give Earth an advantage. Meanwhile, across the globe, human scientists were decoding intercepted alien signals. They discovered vulnerabilities in the aliens' energy shields and power distribution networks. Within hours, humans were able to anticipate movements, predict attacks, and strike with surgical precision. Humanity had learned faster than any species had ever learned before. The aliens, realizing the fight was no longer one-sided, began to retreat, but not entirely. Smaller scout ships continued to probe, trying to find weaknesses. Earth's defenses remained relentless. The humans were adapting in real time, learning from every encounter. As night fell again, Lieutenant Singh walked along the command center, observing the city lights below. "They thought they could intimidate us," she said softly. "They thought we would surrender. But we are not so easily broken." The Council, now deeply unsettled, convened in emergency. They had never faced such cunning, such resilience from a species they considered insignificant. "We may have misjudged them," one delegate admitted, his tone uneasy. "They are evolving, adapting faster than expected." Back on Earth, Dr. Moreno addressed a room of exhausted but exhilarated leaders. "We have achieved something no one thought possible," he said. "But this is just the beginning. The aliens will regroup. The Council will intervene. We must prepare for what comes next." Lieutenant Singh looked out at the horizon, where the remnants of alien ships floated like fallen giants. They will remember this day, she said, determination burning in her eyes. And so will we. The humans had turned desperation into power, fear into strategy. The first retaliation had worked beyond anyone's expectations, but it also sent a clear message to the galaxy. Earth would not bow. Earth would fight. The night was quiet again. But beneath the calm, a new determination stirred. Humanity had struck the first decisive blow. The aliens were shaken. The Council was shaken. And for the first time, Earth had proven that it could be a force no one could ignore. And as the stars watched silently, the humans prepared for what would come next. The retaliation had begun, but the war for survival, for respect, for the right to exist, had only just started. The Galactic Council's chambers were silent, a silence heavier than any before. Delegates from hundreds of star systems sat rigidly in their high seats, the usual arrogance stripped from their faces. Across the vast holographic displays, Earth's retaliation replayed. Alien ships destroyed, drones infiltrating vessels, entire fleets rerouted by human ingenuity. No council had ever faced such a display of raw unpredictability. "This is impossible," one delegate whispered, his voice trembling. "They are not just offending, they are attacking, countering, anticipating everything." At the head of the chamber, Elder Varkes, a council member of centuries-long tenure, banged his gavel, trying to regain order. "We have underestimated them," he said, his voice booming. "These humans, they defy all known logic. This is not evolution. This is something else. Something dangerous." In the observation deck above Earth, the alien scouts that had survived the previous retaliation tried to regroup. Their formations faltered under the humans' unpredictable strategies. One by one, the smaller ships broke ranks, unsure of where to strike. Their sensors could detect the human weapons. But humans anticipated every move, exploiting every weakness. Lieutenant Mara Singh stood on Earth's command center balcony, staring up at the alien formations. "They are trying to intimidate us," she said. Her voice was calm, almost eerily so. "But intimidation only works if you are afraid. We are not afraid. Not anymore." The council, meanwhile, debated heatedly. Some delegates demanded immediate intervention. "We cannot allow humans to disrupt our order," one said, pounding the table with a clawed hand. "They are primitive, yes, but their tactics are revolutionary. If unchecked, they could destabilize the entire quadrant." Others argued restraint. "Observe first," said a quieter voice. "Do not underestimate the humans, but do not intervene prematurely. Let them reveal themselves fully. Perhaps they are more than mere aggression. They may hold the key to something new." As the debate raged, the humans executed the next phase of their plan. Using captured alien tech, they deployed a fleet of modified drones, invisible to alien sensors, that began targeting the energy cores of larger ships. Explosions lit the night sky over Pacific, illuminating Earth in a fiery glow. Dr. Elias Moreno watched the displays, sweat on his forehead. "They cannot handle this," he murmured. "Every move they make, we counter it. Every shield they have, we bypass it. It's like watching a chessboard where every piece moves with human intuition." Lieutenant Singh coordinated the attack. Her voice was calm but commanding. "Deploy Wave 3. Target the lead vessel. All drones, follow my signal. The lead alien ship, the largest in the fleet, moved with deadly precision, attempting to crush Earth's defenses. But it was too slow to adapt. Humans anticipated its trajectory, planting EMP pulses that temporarily paralyzed the ship's systems. Fighter jets and drones surrounded it like predators closing in on prey. Back in the council chamber, Elder Varkes watched the destruction with widening eyes. "They are not just fighting. They are teaching us a lesson," he whispered. "A lesson in cunning, strategy, perhaps even in courage." Meanwhile, on Earth, civilian populations had begun noticing strange patterns in skies. At first, people were terrified. Lights flashing, explosions in the distance, alien vessels appearing out of nowhere. But as news spread of humanity's counterattack, hope replaced fear. Citizens gathered on rooftops, watching drones move like fireflies across the night sky, listening to the distant booms of alien ship destruction. The humans' retaliation was unlike anything the Council had predicted. Not only had they adapted alien technology, but they had also used their own intuition, unpredictability, and creativity to exploit weaknesses. Every attack was calculated, yet flexible. Every loss was minimized and turned into a lesson for the next move. In the council chamber, tension escalated. "We have seen their potential," one delegate admitted reluctantly. "We cannot predict what they will do next. Our fleets, our strategies, they're inadequate." Varkes leaned forward, his long fingers tapping on the table. "Prepare observation protocols. Track every human movement. Analyze every tactic. They are evolving faster than we can comprehend. We must understand them or we risk total failure." Above Earth, the humans executed the boldest move yet. Using a combination of stealth drones and hijacked alien vessels, they orchestrated a coordinated strike across multiple fronts. Ships that were thought invincible were crippled, energy shields collapsed, and alien commanders scrambled to maintain control. Lieutenant Singh watched the operation unfold on multiple screens. "This is more than defense," she said. "This is a statement. If they thought Earth was weak, they were wrong." On board one of the alien command ships, panic spread. Sensors failed to detect the stealth drones. Missiles struck with precision, and communications were intercepted. Alien officers barked orders, but the humans had already predicted the countermeasures. Every move was a step ahead of them. Back in the council chamber, a young delegate, one who had recently joined the ranks, stood trembling. We have never faced anything like this," he said. "The humans, they are extraordinary." Elder Varkes nodded slowly. "Yes," he admitted, "and that is the danger. Extraordinary is unpredictable. Extraordinary cannot be controlled, and extraordinary may not be reasoned with." Meanwhile, on Earth, the humans paused for a moment of reflection. Dr. Moreno turned to Lieutenant Singh. "We've done something no one expected. We've survived the first phase, but this is far from over." Singh nodded. "They will come back," she said. "The Council will act, but they will remember Earth. They will remember that we are not weak, that we do not surrender. And when they strike again, we will be ready." The alien fleet, battered and disoriented, began to retreat, but the humans did not relent. Stealth drones tracked the remaining ships, gathering intelligence. Fighter jets patrolled the skies, ensuring that no alien vessel could escape unmonitored. Earth had proven that it was no longer defenseless. In the council chamber, murmurs filled the air. Delegates discussed strategies, contingencies, and potential treaties. But one thing was clear: humanity had changed the balance. The planet, once deemed insignificant, was now a formidable force. Lieutenant Singh looked out at the horizon, the lights of the cities below flickering like stars. "We fought back," she said softly, "and we will fight again, not just to survive, but to claim our place among the stars." Dr. Moreno smiled faintly. "And the Council, they will never forget us." As night fell once more, Earth's people slept under skies that had been both terrifying and exhilarating. Humanity had struck back with creativity, courage, and ingenuity. The Galactic Council had been shocked, their confidence shaken. But the humans knew one thing clearly: the battle was far from over. The retaliation had only revealed the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where Earth was no longer a pawn, no longer an afterthought. The stars above were silent witnesses to Earth's rise, and somewhere, deep in the void, the Council whispered among themselves, acknowledging a truth they could not ignore. Humanity had awakened. And when humanity awoke, the galaxy would never be the same again. The battle had ended, but the silence over Earth was heavier than before. Cities were intact, skies cleared, and people could breathe without fear for the first time in days. Yet, beneath the calm, the cost of survival lingered. Lives have been lost. Technology stretched to its limits, and every human on the planet now knew that the universe was larger, more dangerous, and more complex than ever before. Lieutenant Mara Singh walked to the command center, her boots echoing softly across the polished floor. She paused at a large screen showing the remnants of the alien fleet retreating into deep space. Sparks flickered on the damaged alien ships, a reminder that even in victory, danger remained. "We won," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. "But at what cost?" Dr. Elias Moreno joined her, his face lined with exhaustion. "We did more than survive," he said quietly. "We sent a message. Humanity is not a weak species. And the Council, they will never see us the same way again." Outside the command center, the streets of major cities were filled with civilians cheering, waving flags, and celebrating the miraculous defense of their planet. Children stared at the sky in wonder. Try to imagine the alien ships that had threatened their world and the humans who had fought so bravely. News anchors struggled to describe what had happened, and social media exploded with videos of drones, fighter jets, and explosions, each clip more unbelievable than the last. But the leaders of Earth knew better than to celebrate fully. Every victory had been hard-won, every maneuver risky, and every life lost weighed heavily on them. General Thomas Beckett addressed a gathering of scientists, soldiers, and strategists in the command center. "We've shown the galaxy that we are strong, clever, and resilient. But the war is not over. The Council will act. The aliens will regroup. And the next time, we must be ready to strike first." Meanwhile, in the distant halls of the Galactic Council, the atmosphere was tense and somber. Delegates whispered to one another in languages older than most humans could comprehend. Holographic displays showed the damage humans had inflicted, the precision, strategy, and audacity that no other species had dared to use against them. Elder Varkes, the oldest member, finally spoke. "They have awakened," he said gravely, "not just in strength, but in spirit. They are extraordinary and dangerous." The Council knew that Earth's actions had disrupted the balance of power. No species had ever demonstrated such coordination, innovation, and courage in the face of annihilation. This was no longer a planet to ignore. It was a player, a force, a threat that could not be contained. Back on Earth, Lieutenant Singh oversaw the debriefing of the human fleet. Drones returned from their missions, some damaged and operational, others completely lost. Fighter pilots recounted their daring maneuvers, narrow escapes, and unexpected victories. Scientists analyzed alien technology captured during the counterattacks, discovering systems and energy sources previously unknown to humanity. Dr. Moreno examined a particularly strange device. "This technology, it could change everything," he said. "If we can reverse engineer it, we could protect Earth, and maybe even explore further into the galaxy with confidence." Singh's gaze drifted to the horizon, where the first light of dawn illuminated the planet. "We have survived," she said softly. "We have fought back against unimaginable odds. But this is just the beginning. The galaxy is watching us now, and we cannot afford to falter." Meanwhile, the Council continued to deliberate. Some argue for sanctions, invasions, or even destruction. Others, more cautious, saw an opportunity. These humans could become allies. One delegate suggested, if guided, if nurtured, they could serve the Council or even protect systems we cannot manage ourselves. Varkey shook his head slowly. Guided? Perhaps, but they will not be controlled. And if they refuse, they are unstoppable. We have seen their potential. They have changed the rules. Across Earth, scientists worked tirelessly to repair and enhance their defense systems. Drones were upgraded, fighter jets reinforced, and communication networks fortified. Humanity had learned more in days than some species learned in centuries. Every loss had been a lesson, every victory a blueprint for the future. In the command center, Singh called a meeting of the top strategists. "The Council will act," she said. "We do not know when or how or where, but we must be ready. Humanity cannot rely on luck. We must rely on skill, preparation, and unity. Every human being on this planet is now a soldier in some way. Every mind, every hand, every heart is part of our defense." Dr. Moreno nodded. "And the knowledge we've gained from the alien technology, it will ensure that we are no longer the weakest species in this galaxy. We can survive and we can thrive." As the day turned into night, a sense of awe and determination spread across Earth. Humanity had survived the impossible, defied expectations, and challenged a galaxy that had always considered them insignificant. Every human felt the weight of what had happened, and the responsibility of what must come next. In the far reaches of space, the remnants of the alien fleet limped back to distant systems. Reports of Earth's retaliation spread like wildfire. Other species began to take note. This small blue planet was no longer just a homeworld of primitive beings. It was a symbol of resilience, ingenuity, and defiance. Back on Earth, Singh walked among the soldiers and scientists, offering words of encouragement. "We have proven that we belong," she said. "We are not insignificant. We are not weak. And we will never allow anyone to forget that." The Council, despite its centuries of experience and power, could not ignore the new reality. Humanity had changed the rules of engagement, rewritten the expectations of strength, and demonstrated that courage and intelligence could surpass even the most advanced technology. Dr. Moreno paused by a window, looking at the stars. "We fought for survival," he said. "But now we fight for recognition. We fight for the right to exist on our own terms. And one day, we might even take the fight to the stars ourselves." Lieutenant Singh joined him, her gaze steady and unwavering. "And when that day comes, every being in this galaxy will remember Earth, not as a planet to conquer, but as a planet to respect, and perhaps to fear." As night fell, Earth's people rested under the vast sky, unaware how closely the galaxy had been watching. Humanity had faced the impossible, survived against overwhelming odds, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. The cost had been great, but the reward was greater. Recognition, survival, and the dawn of a new era. And somewhere in the void of space, the Council deliberated, their whispers echoing through endless corridors. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. For Earth, this was not the end. It was the beginning of a story that would echo across the stars, a story of courage, ingenuity, and the indomitable will of humanity to survive, no matter the cost. And as the first lights of dawn painted the skies with hope, the humans of Earth knew one truth above all. They had changed the universe forever.